Hey guys, this is Alan Luke here from Toronto. We are at the bottom of the hour. Well, tonight's topic is making your dreams into reality. Live a life by your own design. So tonight we got a very, very special guest tonight. They are called the Epic Duel. They're rocking with them Team Take Massive Action. They were top 200, as a matter of fact, in our recent Chicago event out of 100,000 people. But you see, life wasn't always that easy for them, right? Even though they might have made 4,500 in one day, even though they might be kicking ass in our Empower Network, but there were many struggles, right? So I'm gonna pass the floor afterward to them so they can share with you the kind of struggles, tribulation they went through before they got that success. So I'm gonna quickly introduce our panel here before we pass it on to our amazing guest tonight. So we got JJ all the way from Texas. How are you doing tonight, JJ?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking, Alan. Thanks for the introduction as well. I am from Austin, Texas, big state of Texas. Everything here is big, including you should see some of the steaks that they're ordering. But anyway, I don't want to go into food. But yeah, but again, the topic tonight is really design your life. Create your life by design. Is that right? Or something like that. Yeah, which is one of my favorite topics. Yeah, because that's what I believe in. You can make your life however you want. It's all about the focusing on what you want out of life and just go for it. So I'm excited to hear what Kat and Romeo have to share, and I've been following them on Facebook, and they've got some amazing pictures posted on there and stories about their lives in Costa Rica. So I'm excited. Back to you, Alan.
Awesome. Yeah, actually, guys, sorry, I forgot to mention that these epic duos, Kat and Romeo, are actually right now currently residing in the amazing Costa Rica. They're just hanging out in the beaches of the world, enjoying life, just living life to the fullest, right? And they are actually living a life by their own design. And they're going to share with you how they do it, so stay tuned. So now I'm going to pass it to, we got Emilie Nguyen all the way from Montreal, Canada. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing good. Hi, Kat and Romeo.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited about this. Sorry for jumping on late, guys, but it's nice to see you all again. I'm frozen?
You're okay. You're okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't sure what you guys were talking about.
Oh, just a quick 20-second just about yourself.
Okay. My name is Emilie Nguyen, guys. I'm from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and I've been in the network, in the internet business for less than a year, and it's going great. I mean, I've been able to connect with everyone here through Facebook, really, and I met all of them on. Hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry, that's my little brother making noises there. He's like playing games and winning and stuff. But I've been, and I've had the privilege to meet everybody here at the at events, and Kat was the first person I met in Austin, actually, and it was awesome being able to have a recording there, an interview with her, and I remember it was a time when she didn't move to Costa Rica yet. It was like a week or two before she was about to move there and live that freedom lifestyle that she's living now with Romeo, her husband. So I'm excited to hear about their story, and the everything that they've gone through, and they totally deserve it. So guys, make sure you do pay attention and take out your pen, your paper, your notepad. Get the golden nuggets that are going to be dropped out throughout this hangout, because these top marketers, not only Kat and Romeo, but Joanne, Alan, and Tam, always have something amazing to say. So make sure you pay attention. And back to you, Alan.
Well, thank you, Emilie. And we got all the way from Australia, Mr. Tam Dang. How are you doing? I believe it is daytime for you right there.
It is. How you doing, Alan? Can you
Doing
guys?
fantastic. Yep, loud and
Awesome.
clear.
Hey, I'm so pumped. This is just in case Emily don't know, this is our 30th hangout exactly today, and I'm just so happy. You see this big grin on my face? I can't take it off. I'm even more excited because we have Kat and Romeo with us today. Um, and they just moved to Costa Rica, as Em mentioned. You know, for somebody to make that sort of decision and make a commitment and actually follow through with it and actually do it, you know, you've earned my respect. And I got to tell you guys, these guys have started internet marketing about 9 months now, and they are all over the place. I see them all over Facebook. I see them in videos. You know, the name Kat and Romeo is like you know, when you come into the internet marketing scene, Kat and Romeo is always there. Like, it's in the back of my mind. So they're doing a fantastic job branding and marketing themselves. So yeah, I just can't wait to hear what they have to share today. But if you're watching this right now during the course of this hangout, you want to hit the link below anytime and join Empower, be a part of Empower, so you can be a part of this gang. Guys, I'm so pumped. This is our 30th hangout. Alan, back to you, man.
Oh gosh, thanks, Tam. Is yeah, definitely. I cannot believe it is the third hangout. I mean, this is what we call consistency and taking massive action. So, I know Romeo and Kat, has been online for the 9 months only. But I mean, they have created so much success and branding and like actually inspire so many people within our community. So I'm gonna pass the floor to both this amazing, the epic duo, and so they can share with you their journey, their story, and how they come about, from struggling to where they're at right now, living in the beaches of the world, Costa Rica. So, Kat and Romeo, I'm gonna pass the floor to you, and we cannot wait to hear what you have to say.
Wow, well, thank you guys. We're both so excited to be here. You are all amazing, and we're so grateful for all your intros.
That was pretty awesome, guys. Thank you.
We have a lot of respect for all of you, so we're really honored to be here on this hangout. And congratulations to you guys for, this is your 30th. We're honored to be on your 30th hangout, and definitely that's massive action. That's really amazing. So thank you again. We love you guys. As for us, how far back should I go? Pretty much we're from Toronto. We've lived in Toronto most of our lives, and we've been together for 11 years now. And pretty much for 11 years, Romeo worked as a fast food manager, and I kind of jumped around from job to job. I worked in retail, I worked in a call center. Eventually, I became a personal trainer. But we were still unhappy. We were still, we were trapped in debt. We were living paycheck to paycheck for most of our life together. And one thing we always were dreamers. When we met, our first conversation ever was that we wanted to travel the world. And then somewhere along the way, we kind of lost that, and we kind of bought into the reality around us, thinking that, you just have to settle and accept whatever life gives you. And it got to the point where we read The 4-Hour Workweek. That's a huge inspiration for us. Definitely recommend it, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And, there was one part in that book that said, what is the cost of inaction? And for us, at that point in our life, we decided that it was far scarier for us to stay where we were and wake up in another 10 years and still be living life not how we want, to just go out and, go for it and jump. So we both quit our jobs. We had like $100 in the bank. We had no plan. But you know what they say, don't have a plan B. And we just kind of went for it. We sold our stuff, we sold our condo. And then literally Romeo took out a map and kind of went like this and pointed to the map, and he pointed to Costa Rica, and he's like, we're going to Costa Rica. So we were here last year traveling for, like 6 months, and we pretty much came to figure out what we wanted to do with our life. And we always had an inkling that we would work online. We didn't know what that meant at the time, but we came across Empower Network. And honestly, for both of us, it just felt so right. It felt like something we'd been looking for our whole life. And we just jumped in. We went all in. We went to the Costa Rica Masters Retreat. We understood the power of, going to events and meeting people at events. And ever since then, it's just been this incredible journey. And, we went back to Toronto for a while after being here for 6 months, and we kind of got a little bit stuck. We got in our own way a little bit. But we set the intention that we wanted to come back to Costa Rica permanently. Toronto didn't feel like home anymore for us. So we set a 90-day goal. And, Em was saying that we met in Austin. And, 2 weeks later, we ended up back on the beach in Costa Rica. And it was 90 days from the day we set our goal. So, I mean, all we can say is that definitely, if you're a dreamer, if you think there's something out there and you get that really uncomfortable feeling in the pit of your stomach because something doesn't feel right about your life right now, go after those dreams. I was always told that, I had my head in the clouds, and I felt guilty. I thought that there was something wrong with me, that I wanted more in my life, because everyone around me just kind of accepted their fate, right? So the thing with us was that we always wanted more, and we just kind of tried to suppress it and try to ignore it. And now it's like we've met all these incredible people that have done such amazing things with their lives that we never even really knew existed. We didn't know that, people could be happy and could truly live a life that they want day to day, where, like we can wake up in the morning and not have alarm clocks and not have to go to a job. We wake up on the beach. We work when we want to work. We go to the beach. I go to the gym. Like, it's like we really truly do what we want moment to moment. And if you had told me that a year and a half ago, when he was slaving like a 12-hour job for 10 years, I wouldn't have believed you, But now that we are doing this, for us, it's an incredible thing, right? But it's just to show also what's possible. And if we're able to do something like this in such a short period of time, anyone can. I mean, we had no experience. We didn't know what the heck we were doing when we got online. But, I guess we're doing something right, right? And it's just that we understood, once we took that leap, that we got comfortable with being uncomfortable. We got comfortable about stepping out of our comfort zone constantly. And we understood that we had to change a lot of things in our life, meaning in here, in order to have things in our life change. And if there's a lot of things in your life that you don't like, there's going to be a lot of things that you'll have to change. And it all starts here. It starts with mindset. It starts with, believing in yourself. It starts with surrounding yourself with people that will believe in you as well, and will show you so much more possibility. So if anything, we've developed a far more open mind than we ever have before, and it honestly just keeps opening more. More possibilities are available and out there now than we even knew before. And when we asked that question, what is the cost of inaction? And we kind of considered the worst case scenario, even the best case scenario a year and a half ago, it wasn't as good as this. And it just shows that, you might not even be able to imagine how amazing things can get, but if you'll go out and take a chance on it, it's like, your wildest dreams can come true, because that's honestly what's happened to us. And I still have to pinch myself sometimes, because sometimes I can't believe it still, right? But it's like I have to catch up to the reality that this is actually our life, and it's just incredible. So, we're happy to share our journey, I guess, but we feel just as grateful being amongst, amazing people like you guys. And it's because of that, because we immersed ourselves in this community and in the product, and, fully just took on learning and being open-minded. And then that's really the only reason that we were able to do what we did, and anyone can. I mean, this is available to anyone.
Yeah, that's really right. you know, I think for us, because we're kind of, well, like you said, right, we're actually really unrealistic in many ways. Like I'm not even kidding you guys, you know, we're very unrealistic. And I think that's the reason why everything happens in our life the way we want to, because it's like we think of things differently, you know. It's like it's almost like we think outside the box. It's like we used to, like, for like you said, right? We, for the longest time, we thought inside the box, right? And then, like, when we started, you know, doing all this personal development, you know, kind of like thinking about, like, starting thinking about ourselves, it's like we started thinking outside the box, right? And it's like um our life totally just came out, and now we just, this is what we do. This is our life, basically.
Yeah.
So.
And honestly, like, I know it maybe sounds a little bit crazy, but because we've wanted this life for so long, because it was definitely a dream of ours. It's just for many years we never even really, you know, considered it a possibility. But when we finally got here, it was like we had to take a step back and say, you know, we accomplished this amazing thing and this amazing dream. You know, how much bigger can we dream now? And we almost have to push each other to think a lot bigger, because now we know that, you know, you can pretty much do anything. Anything is possible as long as you're willing to go after it, you know, put the work in, take action on it, take massive action on it. It's all possible. Romeo always says to me, you know, you just have to reach out and grab it. You can't just sit there and look at it. You gotta grab it. You gotta take it.
It's right in front of you. Just all you need to do is just grab it, you know.
Yeah.
Take massive action. That's it.
Well, that's awesome, guys. You see that map behind me? I guess after the hang, I gotta randomly pick a place, and then that's my next destination. But hope I don't end up in Alaska or anything like that. But anyways, but it's awesome. I mean, you know, you guys talk something really deep. Is because, yeah, like, having a dream. I think most of us had a dream before, but eventually, you know, we're going through life and we kind of lost a dream through the way, right? You know, people, our society, you know, our parents, our people around us just say, hey, you know, just stick to the plan, you know, work hard, go to school, get good grades, work a job, and just stay there for the next however years and retire. Just live a life of mediocrity, right? That's what we're taught to do. That's what we're always programmed to do. But having a dream is so important, because once you have a dream now, you know where you're really going. You know, you want to go travel. You want to go, you know, explore and just help others. I mean, that's what our whole community here is for. Is actually inspire others and help others and actually realize our own dreams. But before I talk more, I see Tian just popped on here, also from Australia. So I'm gonna quickly have you introduce yourself to our audience here. So Tian, how are you doing tonight?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, I'm TLA from Melbourne, Australia. Sorry I was late. My brother just rang me like 15 minutes before the call, and he said, my dogs are running loose on the street. Can you go and chase them and find them? So, yeah, sorry about that. But, yeah, I loved your story. So I'll just hand it over to Alan, and I'll do my little bit later.
Awesome. Well, I know that Kat and Romeo, you know, you guys just came online like literally 9 months ago. And then you're doing some, you know, you're struggling a little bit, and then you decided to you know, actually enroll in the master retreat, you know, which is one of the very highest leadership retreat in our company. So what got you that decision? And, you know, because most people come online, they struggle a little bit, and then they quit. I mean, what got you going? I mean, you know, people, I'm sure a lot of people watching us right now might be brand new, and they see that, okay, they want to have what you have, but right now they come on, you know, they came on, or, you know, they haven't started yet, but they will be after they watch this hangout by clicking the link below. But when they got on, they might, you know, hit some, you know, wall struggles. But what got you going?
Well, you know, definitely the decision. We made the decision that we were not gonna have a plan B, and pretty much it was that this is what we decided we want, and we're not gonna stop. And I mean, to a point, it might even be like to our detriment that we've become so stubborn. But pretty much, if there's something you want, then you just gotta keep going. And for us, it's all really a perspective shift, because no matter what you do in life, no matter what aspect of life, there's always going to be challenges. And we've come to understand those challenges not as problems, but as opportunities. And, you know, like, I mean, there's still times when I get frustrated and, you know, we can get down or, you know, demotivated, but we'd still never quit. And now it's more about reframing those situations that become frustrating or, you know, feel like there are these dead ends, or, you know, like you feel like maybe you're frustrated in your business or overwhelmed even, like we were when we started. But if you start to shift it and understand that those are good things, because those things help you grow and help you learn and help you get better and help you overcome, then all of a sudden they're not problems anymore. They're not these roadblocks. They're just things that you have to go around, over, or through, and we have them in all parts of our life, you know. You know, things happen that we don't always want, right? And you can't control that, but you can control your attitude. You can control how you perceive a situation. And that's probably been one of the biggest shifts in our life, where we've had to really, you know, because we immersed ourselves so much, we've had to change the way we speak, our speech patterns, you know, the way that we talk to each other, the way that we talk to others. And it's just, like, words are so important that you can tell a lot by a person by the way that they speak. And the only way we've really been able to change that is because, you know, we went to the masters, because we surrounded ourselves by these people, by people like you, and because, you know, literally, like, he sleeps with audio in his ear all night. And during the day too, I mean, I'll go, my favorite thing is, it's almost like it's a habit now. I have to listen to audio. I have to, like, when I walk, when I go to the gym, sometimes just like when we're, you know, cooking or something, audio is playing. And it's important to listen, not just for, you know, the knowledge, because it's full of knowledge, for marketing, for, you know, for your business, but it's all about communication. It's about influence. It's about how you actually change your mindset. And that's been like the foundation to us being able to constantly overcome and shift it, you know, reframe. We're constantly reframing everything in our life. And, you know, there was a lot of anger we had. You know, waking up after 10 years, Romeo working like 12-hour days every day. I mean, he didn't have a day off. There was anger to let go of, because, you know, we felt like, why didn't we do this sooner? Why didn't we do that? And it's like, you can get into a place where you start to beat yourself up, right? But that's not good either. Just accept where you are. And we had to accept that, you know, the things that we did in the past up to this moment, it's like we had to always say that they were for a reason. They made us stronger. They made us, you know, these people that we are, that we're able to make decisions like this. So if you're in a point now, whether or not you're already in Empower, whether or not you've already hit that link, you just accept where you are and be happy where you are now, because it's good. It's all a good place. And, you know, people want to get through the journey and they want to get to the other side. They want to get through the struggle, but it's actually good. The journey is the journey, you know. It's not like if you get to another place that the grass is greener. It's just that you start to change a lot inside, right? I mean, if we, like, when we started traveling last year, just because we changed our environment didn't necessarily mean that we were all of a sudden so happy. It was a matter of changing this and really working on it day to day. And it's thanks to that now we are happy, that we actually feel happy. And it's not just because we get to wake up on the beach. It's because we've made that inward journey, and that was the longest journey, and it just continues. And I think the life of an entrepreneur is that acceptance that there's always going to be something to learn. And that's the joy in it. And those obstacles and those opportunities are the joy in being an entrepreneur. And it's that acceptance of that. So, I mean, it took a while for us to go from that salary mentality of, you know, working for work's sake to going into this where now it's just our results are really just they equal what we do. And we have to understand productivity. We have to understand that being our own boss, we got to manage this.
It all starts with
If you don't manage your mind, it's, you could work hard, but it might not necessarily get you anywhere. So it's just accept where you are and be happy, no matter where you are. And it'll always get better, and just keep going. It's funny because, I've heard a lot of this, and like for people that have really made it, have been in the business for years and years, one of the things is that they just kept going. They didn't stop. That was the only thing. Some other people stopped and quit, but they didn't. And it was just a matter of doing that, and we understood that. So even in, those moments of struggle, or when we just weren't understanding things and hitting our head against a brick wall, which is what it felt like, we still knew that we just had to keep going. And I guess we did accomplish a lot in a short period of time. And again, if we can do it, why can't anyone else, right? It's not any different. It's just having that, develop that stubbornness.
You just got to be really unrealistic, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one thing I see, you guys are very coachable. I mean, you definitely just want to learn and keep growing yourself every single day, and especially by demonstrating, by going to like a mass retreat, actually hang out with people that are more successful than yourself, right? I mean, I always believe 90% is definitely mindset, and the 10% is, or it could be 99% mindset, and 1% is the action, the marketing. Well, action is really important, but if you don't have that motivation, that attitude towards working, making it work, then you never actually do it in the first place. So I think one thing you also mentioned is your attitude is very important, because I actually listened to an audio today, and they said something like, if your attitude is right, then facts no longer counts, because facts really is opinion from other people anyways, right? So basically, I mean, and make sure you listen to the people that know what they're talking about, right? You don't want to listen to your broke friends, right, for financial advisors. You want to get advice from people that are more successful than yourself. So I want to ask you guys a question: is how do you guys work your business as a partner, as a couple? I mean, like, are there a lot of conflict, or is this like you guys just work it out beautifully?
Should I start, or
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Who wants to? Definitely one of the biggest challenges, working together.
Yeah, it's one of the things we actually have to kind of like constantly work on. Like some days, for like even for weeks, we'll be fine. We'll actually work together and be really, really productive. And then one day, for some reason, we just can't get along. And then I'd have to go to the bar, which is like just down here. Well, thankfully they have internet there, so I can just I can work there, right? And she stays here, and for some reason, if we're apart for like a whole day, the next day we're good again. So, it's some sort of a pattern that we have, really. So.
I mean, the hardest thing was like getting into this when we first started. We are both, a little bit control freaks, and both stubborn. So because we were, we wanted to understand all parts of the business, right? And a lot of our I won't call them arguments, discussions were about, you should do this, or you should do that, or I'll do this, and it was just a lot of that. And I think when we finally started to really work well together, it was when we embraced our own strengths. And this is one of the core, principles that I really believe in now, that, when you start this business, no matter if you work in a partnership or not, focus on your strengths. Focus on the things that you gravitate towards naturally. I mean, the way Romeo and I work is he does a lot more like behind the scenes. Like he does a lot more technical things. He loves putting capture pages together, things like that. And I'm more out there. I like to go on Hangouts. I like to, I'm doing live calls now. And it's just my personality. And it was his personality. And when we finally understood that, then we started to understand more about how we can work together. And it's one of the principles in the 4-hour work week that it's that in this community you can focus on your strengths, and there's so many tools and there's so much support that your weaknesses are going to get filled out and uplifted by the community. And that's what I realized. And you will learn over time all different aspects of the business, but especially if you're just getting started, make it as simple as possible. That's why it's based on the 8 core steps. When you really break them down, they're quite simple. And then focus on your own strengths and on the things that you like to do, and just get better at them, and just keep doing them, and just keep doing them. And over time, it's pretty much unavoidable that you're going to learn. You're going to learn. And you're going to learn other aspects of the business as well. But I find that, a lot of the time people get very overwhelmed, like we did when we started. And it was because we tried to do everything. We dipped our toe in every single kind of marketing strategy. And it just drove us crazy, right? And I think a lot of people try to do that and maybe think that they have to, but you don't. And when you come into this, there's so much guidance and support, and, there's a path. And you just go down it and focus on yourself. The crazy thing about this is that in this business, in Empower, in Team Take Massive Action, the whole point of all of it is for you to be yourself. And you get good at what you like. And then that's where, magic happens. That's where success happens. That's where you start to love your life and you start to be happy. It's not about adapting to, your boss or your job and just kind of accepting it. No. This is where you can truly develop a passion for things that you like, for skills that maybe you don't know you have yet, but they'll come out and you'll know. You'll know when you feel good doing them. You'll know when that passion builds in you for them. Initially when I started, I was scared to go on a Google Hangout. I think she was there when I started my first Hangouts, and I was petrified. I was shaking, but it's like something in me, I knew that it was something that I would enjoy, so I kept doing it. And every time I did it, I felt better and I felt more comfortable. And all of a sudden, people started reaching out to me. All of a sudden, I started making these connections, and lo and behold, I love it. And it makes me feel passionate. And the same with Romeo. He's developed all these skills that he never knew he would have, like email marketing. We didn't know that, but he naturally gravitated towards it. And I think that in itself, that understanding, that acceptance, and that almost that kind of surrender to it, where you kind of just say, you know what, this is okay. It is this simple. Then all of a sudden those old barriers and things that maybe you thought were there, they're not there anymore. Because now you like what you do. And you understand that if you keep doing it, you're going to have success. You just keep doing it. So.
Yeah, I think it definitely just nailing the head. It is basically just mastering the basic. If you think you are good in video marketing, just do that video marketing, 100 videos until you make $10,000, $20,000 a month, and then you start thinking about doing PPC, right? I mean, just focus on one skill until you become a master at it. I think I said it yesterday in last night's hangout, where Bruce Lee said this, right? He said that I'm not afraid of someone who does 10,000 different kicks, but I'm definitely afraid of that person that mastered that one kick 10,000 times. So master that one skill until you become the true master at it. So I think I'm going to pass the floor on our panel now, because I'm sure they have a lot of questions to ask, the epic duo. So Em, let's start with you.
Well, I just want to, thank Kat and Romeo for coming on to this hangout with us and sharing. I mean, she always amazes me every time you speak, Kat. I mean, from the first time you started doing hangouts up until now, you look so much more comfortable and open and outgoing. It just amazes me how far both of you have gone. And you know what? I loved everything you shared. Everything. I was taking down some notes here, and honestly, I've been having like a rough week lately, and going on to these hangouts and hearing stories about like what you just shared, and the other time it was Valerie. Valerie shared something really powerful as well. It just gives me more strength and that energy for me to really know what I need to focus on and how to align my life, and what I need to focus on in my life, really. But I love how, in the end of the day, inside of this business, you just got to be yourself. And it's funny because in Austin, when we had first met, you with Kat and Romeo, in the video, that's the only thing you keep saying. If you guys didn't see the video, check it out. I'll post it somewhere in my YouTube channel or something. But in that video, it was a week before Kat and Romeo moved to Costa Rica. And, you know, she was just talking about, Romeo was the one recording. And, you know, Kat was just talking about, you know, you just got to be yourself. And it's all about being yourself, and be comfortable and get out of your comfort. Be comfortable with who you are. Embrace yourself and get out of that comfort zone, getting out of the matrix. And like you mentioned, once again, you know, it's about bringing your skill set, what you're good at, into this online business, and then surrender yourself to what you gravitate towards to when you do start learning the skill sets of being an online marketer within Power. Now, I guess the only question I have for you guys is, you guys were stuck in that matrix for a while. You know, in that job mentality, and what was that final, you know, what was that final breakthrough that you guys got in order for you to really move on to this, like what made you guys decide to just move to Costa Rica? You know, there must have been like a final pain or something that made you just be okay, you know, screw this. Screw the job, I'm quitting, and then get a map and bam, Costa Rica it is. What was that final decision that made you guys really get out of the matrix?
Can I share your story?
Yeah, sure. See, I like listening to her, so I'm just like...
Can you tell I talk more? Pretty much, like, so I mentioned that Romeo worked in fast food, right? He was a manager. And he worked in a mall, and it was what the funny thing is too, that, you know, I don't believe in coincidence, but it was end of October and Christmas was approaching, and, you know, everyone else might like Christmas, but we didn't. We hated it because for December I never saw him. You know, he was working all day, and there were, you know, like, one thing with Romeo is he's got, you know, this insane amount of discipline that I've never seen in anyone. Like, he would go to the gym before and after work, but it was just, you know, because he needed something for himself because he was always at work. And what happened was that he had torn his shoulder many times and still gone to work because he's just that crazy. And Christmas was coming, and it was like, you know, we were both just very angry. We were very... Things kind of felt a little bit hopeless. We felt very trapped, and it was that feeling that another Christmas was coming, and yet again we were still in the same position. And just something snapped. We were like, you know, we can't do it anymore. We just can't. You know, we were both scared that, you know, if he did go through another Christmas at work, that he might come out with a disability with his shoulder. And it was just, you know, we looked around and we asked ourselves, who in our life could we really model or look up to? You know, is there anyone in our life that we could really completely model, that's really just happy in their life and really doing what they want? And the answer was no, we didn't. You know, there were parts of people that we looked up to, of course, but there wasn't one person that was really happy. And I mentioned that we read the 4-Hour Work Week, right? And we're like, who is this guy? You know, who is this guy, Tim, that does all this crazy stuff and says that, there are people out there that live that way. And it was that question, what is the cost of inaction? And I think just something, it was just that point where things felt so, it was like that breaking point, and we knew we couldn't do it another 10 years. And, we want to have a family, and we didn't want to raise our family that way. So we just did it. Like, the funny thing is, we didn't know at the time, but the day he quit his job was the day Empower was born. It was the day that it started. And it's just crazy. I mean, there's no coincidences, right? And it was hard. Like, we had, no money in the bank. We just had a lot of guts. And we just kept going. And a lot of people in our life were angry with us. They thought we were crazy. They were like, what are you doing with your life? You're going to screw it up. What are you going to do? You're going to start over? You're going to be homeless? You're not going to work? What are you going to do with your life? And we're like, we have dreams. We're just going to do it. We're going to go after it. I don't know what's going to happen. And it was true. We really didn't know what was going to happen. But we just knew that we couldn't go down that other path anymore. That was no longer an option. That was far scarier than just going blindfolded. And we kind of learned to live that way. We learned to live where, day to day, we didn't know what was going to happen. And it was uncomfortable, but it definitely brought out a lot of things in us that we had for years that we didn't know we had. And everyone has these resources in themselves to get through situations that they could, they might not think they can get through, but they can. And sometimes you just gotta push yourself. Like Emmy were saying, you gotta be out of your comfort zone. And a lot of people don't want to accept all of themselves. I said before I didn't want to accept this dreamer in me because I thought it was a bad thing, but it wasn't. But it definitely took me being uncomfortable to realize that there was nothing wrong with me and that I could go after my dreams after all, that we could just be crazy and go point on a map and go to Costa Rica, right? And it's not everyone's dream to travel. It's not everyone's dream to do what we did, but it just shows that you can do what you want. If you want to spend more time with your family, if you want to, sit around at home all day and just work on your computer, you can, right? You can do what you want. It doesn't mean you have to change your whole life and move to another country like we did. It's just that that's what we wanted. And whatever it is you want, you can have. You can do it. And hopefully you don't have to get to that breaking point like we did.
Oh
That's
gosh,
really awesome. You guys are just, since you guys shared me, that you guys were going to move, I knew you guys were, an inspiration and, how you guys have that real entrepreneur spirit. And guys, whoever's watching right now, I really want you to, if you didn't get what Kat was explaining there, I want you to replay again the hangout and really understand that you do have the power to do whatever you want in life. It's just a matter. It's a matter of choice, whether you decide to take action on it or not. I mean, look at Kat and Romeo. They decided to do it even when they didn't have money inside of their bank account. I mean, that's awesome. But they knew that they were going to find a way to make a living anyway, and to choose the right vehicle to have their dream lifestyle, and that's with Empower. And if you guys want to really learn more about it, connect with whoever invited you here, and we'll plug you guys inside the system. But thank you so much for sharing, Kat and Romeo. I know Romeo, you tend to let Kat talk more, but I want to include you, not just say Kat. But you guys work totally awesome together. And it's funny. It's funny when you mention working as a couple. You guys don't really you need your space, but it's by knowing what both of you are good at, your specific skill sets, that you can combine it together to make more of a powerhouse, right? And it just reminds me of me and my fiance. When we started our business back when I was in university, like 6 years ago. I would be the front person who would take care of the management, the accounting, the cash register, and he would be the person in the back doing the kitchen, the inventories, the anything that's related to the kitchen. And then at one point, during our business in our first year, he would try to teach me how to make sushi, how to roll, and how to cook, and we would fight. We would fight. And I'd be like, I taught you, I told you to roll this way. And I'm like, I'm doing it. So finally, in the end, it's like, okay, you know what? We need our space. You are going to stay in the back. I'm going to be in the front. And we work more powerful that way. So guys, online business, if you're a couple, it's the same thing. Like, look at Kat and Romeo. It's about getting the right skill set and learning about it and then putting it together so you can become more of a power couple house. So sorry for taking more time here. Alan, back to you.
Awesome, hey, thanks for sharing the story, Em. But yeah, definitely, Kat and Romeo definitely had a no plan B, let's burn a ship attitude, and that's how they're getting, to where they're at right now. So, JJ, any questions for Epic Duo tonight?
Gosh, well, first of all, I just want to thank Kat and Romeo for being on a hangout tonight. Such a great pleasure and honor to have you guys on here. I actually met both of you briefly in Austin. Honestly, at the time, I would just briefly my background is maybe you don't know, but last year my father passed away. So when I went to the Austin event, which was my very first event, my mind wasn't really there, and I mean, I didn't know, I wasn't really following, everybody in Power. So when Em introduced me to Kat and Romeo, and I mean, you guys look very young, so I'm like, and Em were like, these is powerful duo couple, and they're moving to Costa Rica, living their dream, because they're in Power. I'm like, wow, and I mean, I was blown away, my belief level when, I mean, from meeting real people with real results, and I met Andrew for the first time as well at Austin. Like you said earlier also, and Alan, guys, really there's really no plan B. You guys just dove in head on, just make a decision, took a dive, took a leap of faith, no plan B. I think someone said this, I think it was Vic, it says, if you have plan B, you're already setting yourself up for failure, so make a decision, and just dive in, look at what happened with Kat and Romeo. They did it, and all of us here did it too. I mean, I made a decision. I got into Empower. It was online business, was something that I also have a real estate background. So yes, I was doing some online marketing with real estate, but I was making money off of clients offline, if that makes sense. So the online, marketing brought me clients, but I still dealt with them offline. So I didn't know the concept of making money online, So at the time I was still skeptical, but it made sense as far as a compensation plan, 100% commission, guys. I mean, it's a no-brainer, And yes, I had a lot of past failures, in my real estate. I also have a corporate background and was with them for a long time. Didn't really pan out. There's no security anywhere. But yeah, I've learned that the past failures do not dictate our present or our future. So we learn from it, the good, the bad. We mark them as experience, lessons of life. Take them with a grain of salt and then move on. So, I mean, that's all really, your mindset, like Em was saying, the power mindset, set your, whatever you want out of life, you want it big, make it, you can have it big, you can train your mind to visualize how big it is, and it will get there. One thing I like, about you guys mentioned about working as a couple, I really, really admire that, because I know that there are a lot of people out there or couples out there. It's tough when one partner isn't quite on par with the other, and it really creates friction in the business. So I have a lot of admiration and respect for you guys, for you two, to work so well together, like a well-oiled machine. I always see Kat smiling. It's, and Romeo, as far as your background, working 12 hours a day with no day off, I can totally relate to that too. But I do have one question for you. Maybe not really a question, but you mentioned that you had some friends and family who were like wondering what the heck you guys were doing, and why are you why did you leave the security, the comfort of the jobs and the lives you were having, and pursue something that was so unknown, and so almost intangible, how did you deal with that and overcome it?
Definitely it wasn't easy. It was one of those things that it took me a while to kind of accept. And I mean, one of my biggest kind of breakthroughs with all of that and letting go of it was that, a lot of people, it's not that they have a bad intention, it's just that people actually, they do, like I'm talking about family and friends. I mean, they cared about us, right? And they were just afraid for us, thinking that, we were letting go of that quote-unquote security, which we don't believe in anymore. And it was just a matter of accepting it, accepting that others don't want to do what we did. And that's true. I mean, it's, not everyone wants to, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it was just kind of really grasping and taking a hold of the fact that we have our own life, that we have our own dreams, and letting go of what people think, And that's really a prevalent thing in the business as well. You gotta have to let go of that. And, we've mentioned it before, it's about being yourself and really being true to yourself and what you think and what you want, and not doing things because others expect things of you or want things of you, or you're thinking, what would they want of me? And I did live my life that way for many, many years. I was very trapped in that. I was always there for others. I was, people's biggest cheerleader. I mean, I became a personal trainer. But I was never there for myself. I was never positive for myself. I didn't build myself up, and I realized that, and it was also one of the reasons why we kind of disconnected. Like, we really did disconnect, and we kind of went on our own and tried to figure it all out. Tried to really figure out what was it that we want. What is it that we want apart from what others expect of us? And that was also one of the reasons we decided to travel. So in doing that, it's when we really got to see ourselves. There's an amazing book, The New Psycho-Cybernetics, and there's a concept he talks about. It's the idea of being self-conscious, and a lot of people think being self-conscious is that, you're conscious of what others are thinking about you when you're around them. But really being truly self-conscious is when you're conscious of yourself and what you want. It's that awareness of yourself. And you have most of that awareness when you're alone. When you're alone, you don't act a certain way because someone is looking at you. You're fully conscious of yourself, and you're being yourself. You're being crazy. You sing in the shower, or you don't care what people think. And we've both more and more learned to live that way in front of people. not, I mean, singing in the shower, but but you know, being I can talk and I can be happy with what I have to say, and I don't have to care what others are thinking because it's what I'm thinking. And that's something too that I had to let go of, like even going on Hangouts, right? I was afraid I would say the wrong thing, or I would, you know, reveal too much about myself or offend someone. And I lived my life that way for so many years. And in letting go of that, I became happy. I became happy with myself because now the way that I act, you know, with Romeo or with like a close friend, I feel comfortable acting that way all the time because I feel like I've accepted myself. And so, I mean, that's, you know, kind of a long-winded answer, JJ, sorry. But it was definitely a big challenge for me. Yeah.
No, that's powerful. What you just said. Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, you're right. You may not know, but everyone on this panel here and a few other people know that I had a fear of camera. You know, I mean, my first hangout was horrible. You know, and I'm, you know, getting better and better. This our 30th hangout, and I still feel somewhat uncomfortable, but I feel a lot, you know, more out of my, I guess, own skin, as you can say, you know, and so yeah, I can totally relate to how you felt in the very beginning, and look at you now, you know. So I'm really so glad to be able to see the transformation in you, because I know I can definitely do it as well, and I'm doing it, you know. Last night's hangout was quite interesting. You guys got a chance to watch it, but I went through a breakdown last night. So feeling a lot better today. So thank you for that powerful answer and message. And you're right. You know, when I'm self-conscious, that's being conscious of myself. You know, I'm fearful what other people think in public, but sometimes you just have to pass through, go past all that. So thank you very much for that powerful answer and message.
Well, I thank you, JJ, and I think I mean, you said it. You're amazing. You have to know that you're amazing, that you can come on, and I feel like you are comfortable, and you're right, you're doing it. There's something that you said, you know, about accepting past failures, and I don't like to use that word because they're not failures. It's like at any point in our life, I came to understand that. Like when I finally, you know, even in the beginning when I was doing Hangouts, I was just like, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I offend someone or if someone thinks something. Who cares? And Romeo used to always say that to me. Like, who cares, right? It's like you can never. Not everyone is gonna like you, and it doesn't matter. But you know what? The people that do, the people that will love you, will be even more drawn to you. And I found that to be so true. And so I think, you know, you're amazing, and you have to know that. So I just have to say that. But thank you so much for everything you said to us, and I'm equally inspired. You know, we're just, you know, we feel like we're constantly learning, and in no way, shape, or form are we, quote unquote, there. It's like there is no there. It's just we're all on these journeys together, and I love to be inspired, and I love to inspire, and I've realized that, you know. Someone said to me that inspiration should be mutual, and that's definitely the case here, and definitely the case with this community. It's like we can all learn from each other, and that's what we're doing. So I wanted to say that to you.
Well, awesome. Yeah, I think I saw some of your videos on Facebook, Kat and Romeo, and you guys are just so authentic. I mean, you're truly being yourself, and I guess that's why people connect with you, because they can tell if you're being, you know, fake or being, you know, being BS, right? You know, they can see through that. So if you're being yourself, then pretty much you will, like you said, you will attract people that are like-minded like yourself. You know, you cannot attract everybody. I mean, you can only attract people who are like you, and these are the people that you want to work with anyway. So who cares, right? So Tam,
Sorry, guys. I don't want to cut, but I'm gonna have to go. I have a family situation going on. But thank you so much for coming on, Kat and Romeo. You guys are totally awesome. If you guys are watching this hangout, make sure you guys connect with them or whoever invited you here. Enjoy the journey. Everybody here they're amazing. Marketers and entrepreneurs, and yeah, I'm gonna say it out loud. This business is not made for everybody, but it's you really, it's a serious business, and you just really gotta embrace the journey. Whether you are gonna, I'm not gonna hide it. Everybody falls upon challenges and obstacles, and it's just a matter of how you reframe it and how you how you see it and how you put yourself in the position. But thanks, guys, for everything. And I just have to go. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alan, JJ, Tam, Tien, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Kat and Romeo. It was nice seeing you guys again.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, Sam. Bye.
Okay, Tam. Any question for Kat and Romeo?
Yeah. Well, listening to Kat is like listening to an inner circle audio, right, guys? I'm just kicking back. I'm like, wow, this is my audio moment right now. And you're definitely made for, being in front of the camera, to definitely speaking to people. You shared so much today. I think it's worth listening back again. And I think for myself personally, some of the knowledge that you've dropped in this hangout has actually sort of helped me a little bit, right? Configure my mind a little bit about how I see people and how I feel about people thinking about me. So I think that's huge what you've just shared tonight, and I think that's one of the biggest fear that just sort of holds a lot of people back from achieving their dreams. I just want to do something very quickly. I wanted to do this before, but I'll do this now. Can you guys hear that? Okay. So that one is for you living your dreams, right? For making the decision to not hold back and to really commit and live your dreams, because I think by making that decision and moving forward, a lot of people watching you guys, I believe everybody's a dreamer, right? And you said it before, you're like, the hardest thing for you guys to do is to really accept that part of yourself, to to allow yourself to dream. I think a lot of people, everybody, we all have dreams, and along the way, life gets in the way, and other people's opinions gets in the way. Our neighbors, our friends, our family, right? All their opinions gets in the way. Why? Because they can't achieve their dreams, right? And so they have to. So when you share your dreams with them, they give you their opinion, but you should listen to their opinion, because you're listening to someone who has given up on their dreams. So if you want to share your dreams with anyone, you probably want to share it with someone who's already chasing their dreams, right? Who's already where you want to be. So you don't want to share your dreams with everybody, because who knows you're going to talk. Who knows who you're talking to, and they might just say some things that'll just hold you back. Okay, so I think you guys are very brave to accept that part of yourself, and you've inspired me to accept that part of myself as well. I am chasing my dream. I am online building my internet business. Why? Because I want freedom, right? I want financial freedom. I want freedom to live anywhere in the world I want. I want to have the ability to help my family, to help my friends, and to help other people. And I don't want to like second guess myself, or what I want to eat when I go to the store, or what I want to buy. I have to look at the price tag. So I just want to go in there and buy it, right? And so you guys have just inspired me to sort of now acknowledge that dream side of me, and you've given me a belief that maybe I can do it as well. So that's huge. Guys, in terms of questions, you know, for a lot of people that are watching, right, and they're possibly a couple, right? I know for myself, I am in a struggling relationship right now, simply because I am moving in a direction that my other half isn't sort of have an interest in, right? I see you guys are very gelled as a machine. You're both doing internet marketing. You're both living the dreams that you both want. So you've aligned yourself very well. Now, I just want to question you guys quickly. Like, when you guys decided to do internet marketing, was it Kat that decided it? Was it Romeo? Did the other one, or did you both sort of decided, hey, we're gonna do internet marketing and we're both gonna do it? What was it like when you first began in that sense?
Well, first off, I want to say thank you for everything you said. You know, it really means a lot to hear that, and it really, truly, it makes me feel so inspired, because it gives me that burning feeling of, you know, continuing, of pushing, of, you know, wanting more, of dreaming bigger. And of course you can do it. Of course, there is no question of that.
It is totally doable.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, and you know, everything we're saying.
You know what? If you stop now, a lot of people's dreams are on the line, right? So you got to keep going for a lot of the people out there that are waiting for you to get in contact with them, because you're going to touch a lot of lives. I know that.
Thank you, and so are you, and you're already. All of you are. We're not doing this alone, and that's the amazing thing in this. See, as for your question, it's like we did have a lot of problems with kind of meshing together, and there was a lot of questions. You know, we had no idea what we were gonna do, right? And I guess in a sense, like that stubbornness that I mentioned before, that's probably what, you know, kept us going. And there were times when it was really hard, when things weren't, you know, really good between us, and we had to work through it. And there were times when we said, you know, do we want to do this? Do we want to do this together? Maybe we shouldn't do this together. And I think that's normal. I think that's just part of it. And the way it all happened was, you know, I had this idea. I wanted to work online, but I didn't know what that meant. And so one thing I've learned is to kind of follow that gut feeling, that gut intuition. And I've gotten good at just kind of jumping in. And so what happened, a little bit of a longer story, but we were supposed to be in Costa Rica last year for 3 months. And we were approaching the 3-month mark. And we still had no idea what we were going to do. We hadn't found Empower yet. And so we made the decision that we were going to stay longer. And then literally like a few days after that, Romeo's like, hey, you know, I want to show you this video. Come watch this video, right? So we watched the video, and I'm like, sign up right now. Do it right now. Join right now. And then he was more, you know, a little bit, he thought about it a little bit more. And he did some research and stuff, right? I'm the one that's like, you know, just do it, just sign up, right? And it just shows that our personalities are different, right? And everyone's different. So he was the one that found it, and then we just kind of, it felt right for both of us, so we started working on it. But we really, you know, we didn't understand how it was all going to play out. We didn't understand what was going to happen, right? We had no idea what we were doing, really. And it was a matter of, like what I said before, of accepting ourselves. And a big thing that happened was that I found the confidence in myself to know what I wanted. And he found the confidence in himself to really know what he wanted. And we aligned. And we decided that we wanted to do this business together. But there were moments when we didn't. So, I mean, I think it can happen because, again, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be challenges, and doing the business together is one of those situations where it's not always easy, right? And we never worked together before, so there was a few growing pains involved with that. But I think It's just having trust and faith in the future. And that's one thing we learned, because we don't know where, what we're going to be doing in 2 months or 6 months or 9 months. We may or may not be living here. We might be traveling in Europe. We may be going to Thailand, which is what he keeps telling me, that we're going to end up in Thailand soon. But now we know that as long as we have that feeling, that passion, that we love what we do, then everything's going to be okay. And sometimes paths might diverge a little bit, and then they'll go back. And it doesn't mean anything really. It just, the question is whether or not you're happy. And that's what we kept asking ourselves. Do we want to do this? Do we want to work the business together? Are we individually happy, right? Because everyone has to stand on their own feet. Everyone has to stand true to their own dreams, true to their own beliefs, right? And we had to do that. We had to develop that. Like, I had a very low self-esteem, very low self-confidence for many, many years. And joining Empower, I changed that. If you go back and you watch some of my old videos, or even talk to some people that I met, let's say at the Costa Rica Masters, they would tell you that I was really awkward and uncomfortable to talk to. Because I was scared to talk to people. I was scared to tell people what I wanted because I didn't even really know. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're all in different places. But being in this community and really embracing myself, I've stepped into this place where I feel very confident in what I want, and so does Romeo. And it just continues to work. And again, we don't know where we'll be, but we have that belief in ourselves and in our individual dreams. So I would say, as long as you can ask yourself, are you happy with what you're doing? Then keep doing it. And if you're not, find the thing that makes you feel that passion, And sometimes it's something that, consistency shows, right? I didn't necessarily come in and say, oh, I love to do this. It developed, right? But it was through consistency too. Do the right things long enough consistently. I know, Alan, you probably know that quote. And that's what it is. And it's like, that's kind of how you discover yourself. You discover what your dreams really are, because after years of suppressing them, it's not just clear as day and all of a sudden you know what you want exactly. Sometimes people can't even answer that question, what do you want? And I couldn't for years. And now I can. And it took me really pushing myself to do that. So, one thing I loved from Tim Ferriss is that he asked the question, what excites you? And it's not just what makes you happy or just what you want, but what really excites you. What ideas or possibilities out there excite you? And then you're going to be willing to go after them because it's exciting, because it brings that passion, because it makes you feel more alive, because it makes you feel in the moment, right? And that's all part of it, and it's all part of all of this.
Awesome. Just very quickly, like if you were in